Hey guys! So for this week's video, I want to talk about the power of choice. And this is essentially a piece of mindfulness. So if you know what mindfulness is, then that is great. You're one step ahead. But really, mindfulness is a lot of things. It's living in the moment. It's remembering that, we have a stimulus and we have a response. Something happens in our life and it makes us upset. That's our response. And mindfulness is the moment between the two. It is the moment where we have the ability to choose how we are going to react. And when you think of things that way, you realize that you do have control over a lot of things that you may feel like you don't have control over. If something happens in our lives that makes us mad, that makes us angry, right? A lot of people will say, oh, I can't control my anger. I can't control what's happening. And realistically, you can. You can make the conscious decision to choose to walk away, to not react in such a way, not let something affect you. So that kind of goes into the power of choice that we're talking about today. Mindfulness goes into a lot of other things as well, living in the moment, meditation practices, and things like that. But today, I want to talk about the power of choice. And the reason why I decided to do this video today is because I was reading about a woman named, I wrote it down, Amanda Lindhout. Lindhout, I don't know how you say it, but she was a photojournalist in her 20s, and she traveled to Somalia, and after 4 days being there, she was captured for 460 days. When she was first captured, they treated her well for someone being, a prisoner. They fed her, they gave her books, and she was there with somebody else who was also captured. 2 months into it, she and the other person she was with attempted to escape, and they ran to a nearby town, and they ended up getting recaptured. What happened at this point in time is the captors were really mad that they ran away, and they started treating them terribly. They chained her up. She was separated from the other person she was with. She was chained up. She was abused in various different ways, and it got to a point where the abuse was so severe that she talks about remembering the first time it was like to dissociate from her body. And when you dissociate, it is almost like you're standing in a room watching what is happening. You're not feeling it. You're almost like just a third person in the room. And this happens when we are dealing with severe traumas. So she talks about that in her book. It's called A House in the Sky, I believe. And so she goes on talking about the first time she dissociated. And I should preface this by saying, before she even was captured, she did practice meditation. She was very much into the mind and being positive, and she knew about mindfulness and things like that. So just want to preface that. So she found herself, when she was captured, she would do meditations and stuff because she would be locked in a room. And she really talks about how even though she didn't have control of what was going on around her or the things that were happening, and this is the same thing with when the abuse was going on, she talks about that she had control over her mind. And the quote that she used, I really liked this quote, is, forgiveness was an active choice, but not an easy one. No matter what they were doing to me, I still had the power to choose my response. I knew at the deepest part of my being that if I chose forgiveness, I could not be defeated. And this is one of my favorite quotes because it really goes to show, this woman, what she was dealing with compared to the things that we in America deal with every day. This is an extreme thing. There are people, in the United States that also deal with physical, sexual abuse, things like that. And, she's talking about going through that, but she's talking about that the way she cannot be defeated is to forgive. And I just think that that's absolutely amazing because it's so true, right? It's so true. Somebody could be doing something horrible to us. Things could be happening in our life that we can't change, that we have to deal with, but we have the ability to choose how we respond to it and how much we let it affect our lives. So, I guess the point of this week's video is that I hope that when you guys are going through this week or even after this video and something's happening that you don't like, that maybe it's like driving you, to be like anxious, and or you're just aggravated, or family members driving you crazy, that you remember that you have the ability to choose how it affects you. You can't change the way someone's talking to you. You can't change the way things are in certain situations, but you can change the amount of distress that it causes you. And I hope that you all kind of take away that little message from this story and talk. So I just wanted to do a little video on that because I thought it was like really interesting. So till next week. Bye guys.